welcome to Teen Talk New York. I'm your host, Marritina, and this is today's guest, our producer, Mr. Urban Wall Street.
What's going on, Marritina?
Hey.
Great to have you as part of the show. You come from a legacy of individuals who've done it before you, and I know you're going to be amazing. So what are we talking about today?
Today's topic, we are talking about student accountability.
Student accountability. That's a very good topic and very serious topic, and I'm glad you want to talk about it because one of the biggest elements I think lacking with students is accountability. And so before we can get into it, what do you understand student accountability to be, Marritina?
Student accountability, you have to be accountable for your own actions and how you carry yourself throughout school. You have to be, very responsible in how you take care of your schoolwork. And if you do sports, you have to know how to balance those two things out,
Exactly. Yeah. So unfortunately, I won't say unfortunately, because there are a lot of students who are accountable, but then there's a lot of students who aren't, and there's different factors that may play into that, and we can talk about it. But in your opinion, do you think students are as accountable for their behaviors and their work ethic in school as they could be or should be?
Yes and no, because, it doesn't necessarily have to be all on the student, because then it could be the issue at home, and, the parents as well. So people, have their own ways of taking things, to different extremes, in how they carry themselves. So maybe them being accountable isn't just their fault. Maybe it's the parents too.
Okay, so just imagine, so you're in school. When you come to school, it's your responsibility. Your parent is responsible for certain things, but when you're sitting in class and the instructor says this is what the exam is going to be on, this is what the homework, you are essentially out here in the world on your own. So there's a certain degree of responsibility. Your parents cannot do your homework for you. Your parents cannot take your tests for you. You know what's required of you. I'm sure your teachers and administrators emphasize it over and over. So why do you think individuals may not be as accountable or responsible as they could be?
I'm not really sure. I can't really answer that per se, because I've always been, a very responsible person, and, I've been always accountable for my actions, so I can't really say, how it would not be to be accountable for your own, work ethics, just in general, so.
So let me ask you, do you think when you lack accountability as a student, it affects your present and your future?
Most definitely, because the way you present yourself now can affect you in the future and the present, because, people can look at you different and see how you're changing, and, so carrying yourself well all has to do with that, and, just being yourself, just making sure you know who you are, try and gather everything right and make sure you're compact. People won't have to look at you any type of way because you already know who you are. You don't have to, change anything really.
So, parents, you have a parent, right? And your aunt, your grandmother, whoever, you have relatives, you have elders who say, Marritina, not necessarily, if I knew then what I know now, or don't do as I do as I say,
right.
Or if trust me, you may not understand now, but
you will later.
Why do you think, and as a teen, so you have peers, you talk to your friends, girlfriend, guys, you have roundtable sessions just discussing different things. What do you think it is that leads most teens to not really listen? Why is there such a struggle to listen to the individuals who have come before you, especially if you see them not necessarily where they want to be, and they said, I didn't do what I was supposed to do, I wasn't as accountable, I don't want that for you. Why do you think it's hard for sometimes individuals to change or break that cycle?
You know what? I think it's just the rebellious kind of feeling you get. Because the more you tell, a teen not to do something, they're going to want to do it even more. So, you have to be sure on how you choose your words wisely. And speaking to a teen, I'm not going to lie. I did some things, that I wasn't told to do. But it wasn't nothing reckless. Like, I wasn't, crazy. Maybe somebody told me not to eat something and I ate it. Who cares? It's food. But just because parents, so used to telling the kids what to do and not to do, I think the generation itself is just, just scraping that all away and just doing what they don't want to do. overall, people just feel as if that they're their own person.
Okay,
So,
yeah, I can understand that. So let me answer me this question. So someone lacks accountability. You have teachers, you have administrators, you have parents, you have older siblings trying to guide and direct you, but you want to do it your own way. That is understandable because some people want to be accountable the way they want to. But when your lack of accountability or your methodology of accountability becomes a detriment to you moving forward, then you want to blame someone for what you don't have or what you didn't do. Like that seems like a double-edged sword. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, teens want to do it their own way. But then when things don't work out, they're looking to blame someone. Well, who's to blame if you're not handling what only you can do? Because even if I tell you what you need to do, only you can ultimately do it.
That's a fact, because, you have to also, take that criticism, take that critique-ness and, build it into your own, but you have to do it yourself. They're just helping you. They're guiding you. They're giving you, little points here and then just to tell you what you should do and what not to do. Elders are guiding you. And, you just have to take that into your own hands and, make the way for it. Because they can't make it for you. They already made their own path. They're just helping you make that path for you. It's on yourself to start digging.
So helping, very good word, accountability. In order to be accountable for yourself, you sometimes might need help, right? Because I can be accountable for myself, but if I don't know how to do something, I'm going to need assistance.
Right.
I'm going to need to seek guidance. I'm going to need some help. Now, so when somebody provides you that help, do you think teens are as receptive to the help that's being offered to them?
No. But yes, it's...
Which one now? Is it no or
I want to
yes?
say no.
No, okay.
I want to say no because, today you see teens, they don't really care anymore. They really don't have that good-spirited mindset. I do, but, most don't. They just don't care no more, They're like, oh, well, this, that, and the third. I don't care. I'm already like this. But doesn't mean you can change. That does not mean you can flip things, and change everything around. You're still young. You're still in school. You have many opportunities. It's not like your life is over.
So that's a good point. Why do you think someone at the age of 15 or 16 might feel like, I can't change. I'm done. Like, this is what it is. What do you think? What do you think contributes to such a stoned perspective on the rest of their lives? I mean, you're 15. If you still live at home, you haven't even began to live. So why do you think some teens, in your opinion, just in your circles, why do you think that mentality is so profound?
Because some of these kids have to grow up so quick, and you see their lives. They tell you don't even have to hear about their story. You can already see their story on their face. Or the way they carry themselves, the way they walk, talk, the language, all of that. You can already see off back that they've lived a life too young. So sometimes, these kids have to grow up too fast. Sometimes they're young parents, Sometimes they're doing enough as is that, they can't just, that's it for them.
So let's talk about, I'm saying, or I'm understanding that you would say that a lot of the outside factors that sometimes teens may have to deal with will affect how they perform or how accountable they are in school.
Yeah.
So if you have issues that's going on at home, if you're a young parent, maybe if you have a parent that's not as attentive, that will affect, your accountability.
Yeah.
Now, do you think a lot of times if individuals know they lack accountability, they try to figure out what they can do to correct that?
Honestly, I'd have to say I don't know, because you can't really think for everybody else, You could only judge off your own perspective, but I can't say, I know what goes through other people's minds, but a lot of people take different things, different ways. So they could say, oh, this is a new me, I'm going to start over, I want to get my education, whatever it is. But some, it's just what it is for them.
So what do you think? Do you think there's some solutions that teens can implement? I'm young, and I don't care. I want to do it my way. I'm a young parent, or maybe nobody understands. Are there some strategies or ideas that you think teens can begin to incorporate in their lives to try to make a difference for themselves?
I honestly feel like some teens need somebody to talk to. I feel like a psychiatrist or something, because a lot of these kids do have issues and they need to just tell somebody, because all of that built up is only hate. It's crazy because I'm saying this because I know how it is. I know how it is, to just, you don't want to tell nobody anything. You just want to hold that all to yourself, because if you feel like you tell somebody else, then that's them judging you, or, or them thinking that you're crazy. It's just a lot of things going through your head. But generally, you're just going to have to at least tell somebody to finally listen to you, because most of the time when you're young and you try and tell somebody what's going on through your life, they never want to listen. Parents never want to listen. Oh, whatever, okay, whatever. But finally having somebody sit there and listen to you and actually look at you while you're talking to you is the most greatest feeling ever. So I feel like a lot of these kids need somebody to talk to and need somebody to feed off of, and just generally just go back and forth about their life and how they can improve.
It's very, it's great that you say that, or that you say kids just need somebody to talk to, and even more so somebody to actually look at them when they're talking. Yeah. Do you think a lot of times students, so do you think teens, they yearn that attention that they may sometimes suggest they don't? Like sometimes we want to act like, I'm good, I don't need this and that third. But do you think somewhere deep down they want to be like children and feel coddled and feel, that someone wants to just give them a hug?
Most definitely, because they probably don't have that at home. Growing up, my parents weren't like that. My father was, but then, over time he changed. So, you probably don't have that in your life. You probably just want somebody, that's there for you, a parent that's actually going to hug you and say that, I got you, I got your back, and whatever decisions you make, don't worry, I'm going to help you make them. Just somebody to hug you, just and take care of you, and make sure you got somebody that's right there for you, because a lot of times, you don't. I mean, I didn't have my mother, but I had my aunt. But growing up, I finally had my aunt. I now have her. So it's like she's my mother. And now my father, he was like he didn't care. He was just like, whatever, you're this, blah blah, But even though I didn't have a father figure, I know how it is, I know, because I had uncles, so it's like, regardless of not whether my father was being a father figure or not, I had father role models throughout my life, so it was good. And I feel like every kid needs that person, that needs that one person, that family member. It don't even have to be a family member, because sometimes, a stranger, a friend could be as much as important as a parent too. So, people could take that role, no matter if you're blood or not, because you see people adopting kids, they take that role. So sometimes you just need that person or that family member to finally just bring you into their arms, because a lot of kids are so mad at everything, but really they just need that hug, they just need that love. Some of them lack that.
So it sounds like student accountability essentially, is affected by a lack of support?
Of course.
Lack of love?
Yeah.
And so you feel if students had more love or they felt more support, they'd want to be more responsible, more accountable? So why do you think that if a student had more love or more support at home, they'd be more accountable in school?
Because they know that somebody at home is rooting for them, That is the most coolest, greatest feeling ever. They know that somebody at home is finally, there for them. At the end of the day, you know, you have somebody home that's like, yeah, my kid's gonna be this, my kid's doing that, my kid's gonna be doing great things, all of that, you know. And that's the best feeling, because parents, you know, are the #1 fans in their kids' lives, and they have to play that role. And without that role, who are they doing it for? Because some kids, they're gonna be like, oh nah, I'm going to school because I just want to. My parents put me here, you know. But sometimes the parents aren't, you know, being the fan. And that's a really big thing. You have to be there rooting for your kid, telling your kid, go to school every day, you know, I love you. Make sure, are you doing your homework? Is you done? Like, you know, not is you, are you done with your work? You know what I'm saying? But, you know, taking that role and making sure your kid has that proper education is a big factor, because sometimes not having that, you know, kind of attitude with your kid is, you know, making them feel worse than it already is. You don't know what they're going through, and, you know, just be there for them.
And talk to them.
Talk to them, of course. Always communicate with your children. Always communicate with your children. You're going to have to always talk to them and find out how their day were at school, you know, all of that. Just communicate with your kids, because they have a lot to say. Even though you might think your kid don't have a lot, they have a lot that's on their mind.
Definitely. Well, listen, you know, student accountability, a lot of times we as adults, you know, we want to blame, you know, put all the onus on the young people. You're not responsible, you're not accountable. But, you know, as you see in routine, I talk to a teen who may not necessarily be going through this particular situation. They can relate and give great insight. And the truth is, we all need to be loved. We all want to feel appreciated. We all want to feel like the most important person in our lives is rooting for us, is cheering us on, is concerned about us, wants to talk to us, wants to look at us. So parents, you know, look at your children, listen to what Marritina said. It's really important, you know, even if you had a long day, you know, kids are people too, and they go through a lot. Young people, listen to your parents, listen to your teachers. It's not necessarily easy out there. It's no more easier for them than it may be for you, or vice versa. But, you know, personal accountability is very important, because how you carry yourself and how you conduct yourself as a student, and your level of responsibility and accountability for self will translate as you evolve. So just be very mindful, you know, as you evolve in life. Nothing's easy, but anything worth having doesn't come easy. Marritina, any last words you want to say to our people out there before we get out of here?
You know, like I said before, just listen to your kids. You know, they have a lot to say. So you not talking to your kids and not finding out how your kids' day were, you know, they was. Yeah, you can just learn a lot from your kid. Sometimes listening to them is the best thing. Maybe it's therapeutic for both of you. So yeah.
Real talk. Listen, Teen Talk New York. Beautiful young lady, host, Miss Marritina, Mr. Urban Wall Street. You keep watching. She's going to do some amazing things. You already know how we talk about it. Until next time, peace.
Bye.